Back in the mid-90s, a group called H-Town came out with a song called Emotions. And it was the first time I found emotion is when I came out my mother's womb. I cried. And at the age of 5, first time I felt my pride. Now, I heard that song when I was about 13, 14 years old and still didn't fully grasp it. And even as I went further into adulthood, I didn't. Because I was so caught on how a man, especially a black man, but to all men in general, how a man should act. He should not show such needless emotions. He should not cry. Because I remember growing up, the first time I cried, it wasn't even over a human being. I cried at the death of some puppies. Right? Yep, some puppies. There was this old little stray dog that was attached to the house where we lived in and was feeding it, and I can't remember the dog's name, but it was a little short, tan, golden colored dog. And the dog ended up getting pregnant. And I remember because there was this one time where they got stuck together and I was trying to beat the dog off because I didn't know what the hell it was doing to my dog. I didn't know. I'm a fucking kid. Who the fuck knows? But the dog ended up getting pregnant. And where the dog went and had its puppies was like in this hole or something. I don't know if it dug the hole or whatever. But the puppies ended up dying. There were even some that got caught under a branch or something where it was at. And I remember my mother making me go out there and put all of those puppies in those Napoleon round plastic ice cream buckets. And I took those puppies further out into the woods and I just tossed the whole bucket out there. I did it. And it wasn't till later that night when I was in my room all alone and I cried. I cried my little eyes out at the death of all of those puppies. And the next time that I can remember crying, I didn't even cry when there was an incident at a job when I was around 15, 16. And I was still in high school. And there was this spot called Fun Spot in Myrtle Beach. And I was helping with work on this go-kart. And the go-kart ended up taking off. Now, these go-karts back in the days, it had the 2 poles in the back where you could rest it on. And I just happened to clamp down. And it took off. And it smashed to this other one in front of it. And it damn near cut me to the white meat. And I mean, it cut me to the fucking white meat. Right between the eyes. And if it had been any more to the left or the right, I would have been blinded. So I had to get stitches. And the shit was even crazy back then. Because they wouldn't even give my uncle, who was on the beach working, permission for them to proceed with me. They had to get in contact with my mother for the okay to stitch me up. So I was in high school with shades on because fuck, my face is all fucked up. But still I didn't cry. Because even going in the military and all of the dumbness, all of the tomfoolery that we did. There was no tears in public. You could not show another man that you are weak, because that's what it was associated with. If you feel hurt, if you show those type of emotions, you're weak. You're not a man. When there are many of you out there who know that true definition of what it means to be strong, to be a strong black man. You were put in situations where you had no choice but to grin and bear it. They did not want us to read because knowledge is power, not fucking weapons that you can just pick up, because that seems to be the easiest thing nowadays. Oh, somebody hurts your feelings. Somebody crosses you. Oh, I'm going to show them I'm a real man. Bow, bow, bow. You killing somebody with a gun. And your life is over. Oh, well, I showed him. He shouldn't have been talking to my girl. Well, guess what, motherfucker? Everybody else out there is talking and fucking your fucking girl. And what you doing? Probably getting your salad tossed or fucked in the ass in motherfucking prison. For what? Oh, but you showed him. I bet he won't be fucking my girl no more. Well, you know what? You won't be fucking that bitch either. And I'm sorry for calling her a bitch. She might have been a nice person. I don't know. But y'all know my mouth by now, ancestors. Y'all know that's just how I'm talking and expressing my emotions with the situation. But knowledge was our power. That was our weapon. I can't believe that all of those years, I did not show that. I did not cry for my grandfather's funeral because I was too young. My grandmother's, I was like a fucking baby. I was like a fucking baby in that church. Full-blown tears. I don't remember if there was snot, but I still tried to be strong. But it wasn't till one of my little cousins who did not understand death said something along the lines of, why grandma, or why she ain't coming, or why she ain't getting up. And that broke me down, and I did not care who saw. That was emotions. I've been cheated on in relationships, not a single tear. Anger's been there, but no tears. I didn't think about it because I didn't want this motherfucker to know that they got me, that I am that weak. There have been people, I've been in a great relationship, and I need to stop using that term relationship because there wasn't no boyfriend, girl. Well, I guess you can still say it was a type of relationship, but never seen me cry. And that is something, that holding of emotions, that trying to be the manliest of the man, that has been killing us for all these years. Because we let our health go. I remember there were times where you could be in pain. You're not going to show it. Anything from a toothache, a sprain, you're not going to go get it checked out. You can be, and I've heard about it, you can be at the doctor. You can be at the doctor, and I can admit that I've done this.
Wubba lubba dub dub!
Especially in my 20s. Is there anything wrong? Is there anything you want to talk about? Any ailments? How are you feeling? I'm fine. Nope, everything is perfect. Everything is honky-dory when just before you came, or a couple of nights before, you've had a headache, aches and pains all over the body, but you don't want to be that weak person. Oh, it's just a little scratch. This is a little groove. Someone says something out of line. Oh, I ain't no punk. I don't know who the fuck you think you talking to. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, you're showing emotion. You're showing that you can be an angry black man. When there were those who truly had to sit there and bottle up all of that shit inside. There were those who sat there and watched as their lover or their spouse would get accosted in public in front of their face, and they have to go home with this person and still hug them. Can you imagine watching the person you love get sexually assaulted? Damn near even raped at times. And you have to be that man. You have to stay strong for them. You have to still hold them, touch them, treat them as if nothing is wrong when you feel that this body, this sacred body, is spoiled. It's ruined. We can show these emotions in front of our significant others, but once we get out the house, you can't. You can't to this world, because it is so driven in our minds on this is what it means to be strong. Headstrong, physically strong, not asking for help, not needing help. There's nothing wrong with being independent. But no one truly makes it this far on their own. No one. I mean absolutely no one. Unless you've never seen a child being born. The child doesn't come out on its own. The child ain't crip walking. The child ain't two-stepping out the vajayjay. Fuck it. Out the pussy. I've witnessed all of the births. I've seen it. Oh, my daughter had a C-section. Well, my latest daughter had a C-section. But you did not do it on your own. So for you to sit here and think that everything has to be done on your own by you, no. And there are many that have died because they did not show that emotion. They could have a tender spot, a tender part. They could feel something different with their heart, something not right. And they'll still sit up there and go to fucking work. With me, you sat me down, and what did my black ass do? Get right the fuck up and went to work the following week. And that made everything even worse, to where I did not have a choice but to stop what the fuck I was doing. Still trying to be the manliest of men. My son will be watching this. But we as a man can show all this emotion to our baby girls, to our daughters, and that is doing a straight injustice to our sons. That is just continuing that bullshit that has been going on for generations to generations. I'm black and I'm proud, yes, but that don't mean I do not feel. And at the same time, that doesn't mean you're gonna let anyone just step all over you. It is saying that don't be ignorant to what is going on. Don't be that one don't continue that cycle. Too much senseless violence over trying to prove to the next man how much of a man you are. Prove it to yourself, your family, your kids. I've noticed that I am also a perpetrator of this as well. I can show all of the gentle emotion in the world to my baby girl. I can be as soft and gentle when it comes to her, but on my son, I am more demanding. That soft side is not seen as it is with her. And without me realizing, I am doing the same exact thing. But you help me to understand this fatal flaw. Because kids don't have no problems crying. If they don't get their way, they throw a little hissy fit, they throw a tantrum, they cry, they hug, they show happiness. And kids can be brutally fucking honest, whether you like it or not. But it is what makes us human, that we are able to have these emotions, we are able to understand these emotions, and we are able to convey these to other people. With these ancestral prayers that I have been doing, with the ones for my relatives, ones that I know and that I did not, I have been able to express so much weight has been lifted off of me, because I have been able to tell this, get this weight, get this burden that has been holding on to my heart, that has filled my mind with, you can't do that, you can't say that, you have to be a certain way. What are you smiling at? What are you smiling at people for? They gonna think you soft, they gonna think you a pussy, they gonna think you fruity. All of that constantly going in my mind. And the only person that is suffering is me. I'm the one that is sitting up here suffering, trying to be the big bad man, the shaft of my day and age, when that is not necessary. Ancestors, I am sorry that I did not see it sooner. I kept faking the funk that I am more than I am. There were even relationships and the things that I've said were so fucking cruel. So cruel. To the terms where I pretty much told someone they could kill themselves and I would help them. Not directly, but if they wanted to drink themselves to death, I'd buy them the fucking alcohol. Because I did not care. I was not going to let this person get the best of me, let them know that they got none of my skin, that they have some type of power over me. Because at that time, I didn't give a fuck about our relationship. She knew I was fucking other people. I was doing both of them in the same week. And she thought that that would keep me. Even the cuts on her wrist. I was like, this motherfucker just want attention. But that wasn't my first thought. My first thought was fear. It was like, oh my God, I might get in trouble. And it wasn't about her life. It was about me being the victim. That, oh shit, I could go to jail. I could go to prison. If this bitch kills herself, my fingerprints and DNA is all over the place. Still another fucked up emotion. And not seeing that, wow, maybe something is wrong with me. Maybe the way that I am evaluating everything is fucked up. And I always say, I survived my 20s. I survived my 20s with all of the fucked up stuff that I did and said because I did not want to be weak. In the military, I was in an all-male unit. There is no weakness there. You're not the weakest link. We're all gung-ho, hoo-hoo. Bro, the big red one. Not the big red pussy, big red sissy. We were men. We were taught to be men, how our fathers. And I did not know my father. So I went off of the things that I saw from my grandfather, my uncles, my auntie's boyfriends, and all of the other men that I came in contact with. There was no hurt. There was no pain. Maybe a little wincing here and there. Oh, are you all right? Yeah. It's just my foot, I just need a couple of days of rest. Oh, we gonna go to the doctor? Oh, no, that's not necessary. That was so quick and easy to say that it is not necessary to get checked out. Not necessary to seek some kind of help. To be seen as human. And this is not something that I will pass on to my child. No, sir. It is okay to cry, Papa. That's what I call him. Because when he was born and as the months went along, he made some faces and he looked just like an old man that he already had grandkids and so forth. So he's Papa. I will teach my son better. I will make up for you all who did not get that opportunity to show those emotions, who were not taught, who weren't able to teach your sons this emotions, who showed your daughters this is the only side of a man and this is what they should look for in a man. And if any man shows anything different to you, he is not worthy of you. He will not be able to protect you. And that is not how it works. I can sit there and cry 1 minute, but I'll do what is necessary to protect mine. But I am ending that. No more. No more. No more for my daughter. No more for my other daughter. No more for my son. Will they need or feel that they have to be what society, what the black community, or what anyone who comes along says, you are not a man if you don't. But I will incorporate in the things that a man should do, that a man should have. A man should want to have his own place so he can raise his family. If he chooses to be married or if he chooses to be single, that is his choice. You do not have to be or follow suit with everyone else. Times have changed, but the fact of the matter is you can still be you. You can still achieve great things. Ancestors, relatives, to anyone who is listening to the sound of this voice, the sound of these prayers, we can change. I am proof. I am proof. Amen.